Hi everybody. So I decided to review a little bit about life, how after 1948, how Muslims' life pretty much began. As the years went on, we're not talking about Prophet Muhammad, how life started. We're talking about what the leaders' decisions they made throughout the years. So after 1948, a year before that, the country of Pakistan was established too, and how things began. Right after a year after that, in 1948, Israel was developed, and Musharraf was the first Pakistani president who gave the command to make peace with Israel, but throughout the years, he died really early. Now you're talking about as the time went on, all the way up to 1979, when Ayatollah Khomeini's dad, Ayatollah came into history. And throughout time, there were many restrictions. This has nothing to do with Prophet Muhammad. That history is gone. It's not coming back. We're talking about the history that now, as of now, we're talking about the current history, how the changes came. So once upon a time, Saudi Arabia was just as strict until Mohammed bin Salman came and gave a lot of changes. In this generation, the biggest example I can give you is that my own sister, she traveled alone without her husband. She didn't need her husband. And females do have privilege to go alone. It's just females sometimes are not ready to go alone, and they prefer going with their families instead, or their husbands or their cousins. That's how my cousin met my sister in Saudi Arabia. Now, throughout the early years, religious freedom was pretty strict in some countries. It's not about the religion, it's about the politics who keep the country that way. Throughout the years, some countries have made changes and gave free will, like in Pakistan now in 2025, females are allowed to work and they're allowed to do a lot of things. In the early ages, it was very difficult for females to work, even though my aunt's like 60 years old. She was a teacher in her early ages. So it's all about the country laws. As much as people are faming people around the world, whether you're Palestinian, whatever Muslim country you come from, every country has its own politics. Now I'm going to show you a documentary of Miss Anila Ali, the famous politician in America for Muslim faith, how her life began as a Muslim, and how did she change her ways, and how did she make her decisions, what did she decide she wants to do. Take a look.
For freedom in the face of extreme circumstances, and she helped create a movement that works to bridge a huge gap in religious belief.
I grew up with women leaders in my house. My grandmother was a Pakistan movement leader, so that's what I grew up with, seeing women in leadership. I went to Saudi Arabia when I got married, and that's when I saw a very different side of Islam being practiced. My daughter was born in Saudi Arabia, and the moment she was born, I realized I wanted her to be a very free person, so I moved to America. Life for Muslims changed after 9/11, drastically.
Today we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
All of a sudden, we were suspects. We were the people who had attacked the Twin Towers. All of a sudden, our kids were being called terrorists in classroom. As Muslims traveled back and forth from America, they were stopped at the border. And so we decided that as mothers, we're going to come forward and do something. And so it was important to work with the Muslim community, with the women, and make sure that they understand, one, what rights they have and what job they have to do as parents, as mothers, to ensure that their children are going to be a part of the American society as they grow up. And also make sure that Americans understand why we're in America, that we're a peaceful community. We came here to live our life freely, to practice our religion freely, and to integrate in a beautiful country called America. And so we founded AMWEC. AMWEC was that platform that gave women a voice. They were no longer silenced. Building a community that is resilient to extremism, it's important that we tackle anti-Semitism, hate for other communities. And unless we reckoned with our own community, we weren't going to improve, we weren't going to challenge ideas, and we weren't going to change anything. We reached out to the US government with open arms. They welcomed us, and we started a lot of the programs that today we're really proud of as AMWEC. We have mentorship, we have programs, careers in government. We work with FBI, DHS, and we get women jobs in government. We're a religious minority and we have equal rights in America. We practice our religion freely without any fear. We want the same for everybody, especially in Pakistan. So we decided that we would go to Pakistan and hold the first women-led religious freedom roundtable. And it turned out to be a roaring success. Why? Because the people wanted that conversation. They were all hungry to talk about the importance of being free, being who you want to be, and that the religion, Islam, allowed it. Pakistan's constitution allowed it. Young people always say, what can I do, but I'm just one person. No, you're not. You are part of many. If you do this, others will follow. And you can always start by impacting change in the group of people around you. So do something, speak up, don't be silent, and don't let anyone keep you silent.
So as you guys saw that, yes, she moved to America because she believed back in the early days, Saudi Arabia did not give freedom of religion as much as Mohammed bin Salman is in charge now. He gave some of those changes. Now, if you were a Muslim in Iraq, you would have to wear the abaya and the scarf as we know it. Palestinians, I've seen them wear it too. But if you are a Muslim in Pakistan and even Iraq somewhat, now in Qatar and some places like that, UAE especially, you can pretty much dress like this. The way I'm sitting in my chair, you don't have to wear anything on your head, and you have free will to talk to whoever you want. Now, the way this works, it really just depends where do you come from. I know people in America have a really big misunderstanding. No, not every Muslim is from the same place. It's all about the politics. So if it's a Palestinian and knowing who's the famous ruler, that would be Hamas, then their education is going to be different from the education people who take in UAE. If you are someone from Qatar, your education is going to be different from someone in Pakistan. If you are somebody from Albania, your education is going to be way different than Saudi Arabia. So that's just how the system works. It's all about the education and what rules did the leaders make throughout the years. If that was the case, every Muslim would be the same up here, right up here in the head, but that's not the case. Many Muslims have different beliefs. There's like, I would say, when I moved to Texas, I didn't have any Shia friends in my life. When I moved to Texas, I met so many Shias, I met so many Aga Khanis, and less of my own, a Sunni Muslim. I didn't have that type of friends until I moved to Texas. And I asked them, I would always see a picture of a man, a religious man that they worship, and I would ask them, what's that for? They would not have a picture of Muhammad, the Aga Khani especially. Number two, when I would ask them, like, okay, you invited me to your wedding event in a Mehndi, why won't you invite me to the main event as in the wedding? And they would always tell me that no, only Shias and Aga Khanis are allowed in that one. I'm sorry, we can invite you. You think for a minute, but I'm a Muslim. Like, why aren't I allowed? So there's too much stuff to learn in this world. As being one, it's hard to explain to the world what's it like until you actually walk in the footprints and see what it's like. There's just a lot more to Islam. Is not the only thing. It's also traditions, ethics, how people dress. Like the Aga Khanis, for example, they can dress any type they want, sleeveless shirts, whatever they prefer. They can dress any way they want. They have privilege to. They think for, oh, you're a Muslim, you're supposed to wear a hijab or something. No, they don't dress like that. I'm not going to post pictures, but I'd be surprised when I used to go to school with them and how they would wear strip tops and shorts, like just like someone from here. So there's a lot to discover. And I feel like due to the Middle East war, people are getting the wrong picture from all sorts of directions. Wrong picture for the Jews. What relations do we have with the Jews? We are not Palestinians. We do not hold the same relation as Jews. We took birth on American soil. We do not hold the same belief system as the Palestinians do towards the Jews. It's all about the ethics, and there's so much more to look at. A lot more to look at. And I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I'm going to make better ones as I further on, but please feel to browse my my Instagram for more research and articles, and I'll be happy to post a video again. Take care.